Welcome to this week's Raw Recap. As always in these recap videos, we go over everything you need to know about this important episode of WWE. I give my thoughts on the show, and as always, you guys can leave me your thoughts on the show down in the comments below. Before we get anywhere into the video, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload, and go follow the frickin' socials. Links to those are in the description of this video. That includes my Instagram account and my X account. Go follow those, do all that, it helps me out a ton. But now let's get you guys straight into today's Raw Recap. Alright, so we kicked off the show with Cody Rhodes. He comes out, he doesn't really get to say much until Seth Rollins comes out, and I want to set the stage here. We do know that it is confirmed that Seth and Cody will have a match at Crown Jewel, champion versus champion for the men's Crown Jewel championship, just like we had last year. So Seth Rollins comes out after Cody comes out, and they talk a lot here, but we're going to get to the main points here. So the main thing that Seth says is that Cody undermines him. He says that Cody really, he says that he's the quarterback, he's the next big thing. He is the greatest to do it currently in the business. He's the one. He is basically the main quarterback of the business. And that's why Seth says that he undermines him. Seth says that Cody always tries to be better than him. But really, the main question is that why Cody's doing it, to just be better than Seth? Because I don't personally think so. But that's really what Seth is trying to get the point of across there. So kind of like jealousy, because Seth has the team of the vision. He leads the vision. The vision is the next big idea. So he wants to be the top guy, and having a guy like Cody Rhodes go around and say that he's the top guy, you know, that kind of irks him there. That's why Seth Rollins is kind of pissed here. And then Cody says, Seth, you got a lot of questions for me tonight, but the main question I have for you is we've had 3 matches, and if you really want to get statistical, how many have you won? Drops the mic and he walks out. So that is really the main point there. And when Cody Rhodes dropped that last line, I think that was a great way to end that promo, because from start to finish, the promo was very freaking solid. There was bits and pieces in this promo that were kind of just like, okay, you didn't really have to add that in there, but for the most part, it really did get the point across. And I mean, honestly, man, I just cannot wait for these two's match at Crown Jewel. That is going to be a great match. You have Seth and Cody. We've had matches from them before that are absolute bangers, and I really don't have any doubt that this match that they have at Crown Jewel is not going to be a banger. I guarantee it will be a banger. But as far as this promo, man, I think this was a great promo, and for the most part, it was very freaking solid. Alright, and now we jumped into a 6-man, no disqualification tag match between the New Day and Grayson Waller versus the Viking Raiders and Penta. And actually, dude, this was a very freaking great match, if you ask me. There was a lot of great stunts, and man, there was a lot of chaos, and there just really wasn't at one point in this match where I was absolutely bored, much like their other matches that these teams have had. This is by far their best match that these teams have had yet, and especially that freaking ending, man. Penta with a off the top rope a Penta driver. Is it the Penta driver? No, it is the Mexican Destroyer, my bad. Off the top, the very top of the rope to Grayson Waller. I think that was very freaking awesome, and like I said, man, just overall very great stunts, and every superstar in this match looked great. This is a different match than we've seen from these teams. Trust me, man, this match was so much freaking better than any of the matches that these teams have had. And obviously, like I said, in the end, Penta did hit that Mexican Destroyer, and then he did get that pin on Grayson Waller. 1, 2, 3, match is over. But man, I think every superstar came out of this match looking great. No matter if you lost or won it, you came out looking great, if you ask me. And for that, this match was very freaking awesome, man. Alright, and now we jumped into a short celebration for Stephanie Vaquer after winning the Women's World Championship against Io Sky at WrestlePalooza, as you'd expect. Just a very short celebration, her thanking the fans, thanking WWE for the opportunity, and saying that she will be a reigning, defending, and, she'll be a strong champion, basically, to lead WWE over the next few months. So pretty much just as you'd expect, just a little celebration. Nothing too special, but obviously very awesome that Stephanie Vaquer did win at WrestlePalooza. That was really the only option that they could go with, and I'm glad that they went with that, and once again, congrats to Stephanie Vaquer. Alright, and now we jumped into Roxanne Perez versus Bayley, and like I said, man, I gotta be honest, I just don't really necessarily cared for this match. I just didn't think it was anything that was special. That's not to say the match was bad, because these stars did do, Bayley and Roxanne, they did great in their match. It's just not something that I personally really cared for. The only thing that's really was interesting was after the match, and that's when Bailey had kind of snapped back into her evil side, and she had pushed down Lyra Valkyria. So I mean, obviously we're building towards that with this match. But overall, I just wasn't a major fan of this match, and it's not because I don't think, like I said, I don't. It's not that I don't think the match was good. It's just I don't really like the idea of how we got to this match with this whole new Bailey persona, because I personally have not been caring for this new Bailey persona with a mix of the hugger and then a mix of like a heelish Bailey. I just haven't really been caring for that. So that's kind of like that kind of is like shifting the way that I thought about this match, in my opinion. So overall, I just really wasn't a big fan of it. Inevitably, though, who did win this match was Bailey. She did hit Roxanne Perez with the Bailey to belly, get that 1-2-3, and then, like I mentioned, after the match, Bailey did snap back into her evil side, and she pushed down Lyra, and then that was the end of that match and segment. So that's really all you got to know there. And like I said, just as far as my personal opinion on the match, I just wasn't a major fan of it. Alright, and now we jumped into Rusev versus JD McDonough. And honestly, I would compare this match to the Bailey and Lyra Valkyria match, just except for the fact that I actually enjoyed this match a little bit more, because after the Rusev and Sheamus feud, I really have started to look more at Rusev, and he was in this match, obviously. So honestly, and I enjoyed what he did in this match and what happened in this match, and the fact that he was in it kind of made me more intrigued, because I've seen what we can see from modern day Rusev. And also JD McDonough, a great star as well. So, with those two combined, I was very intrigued in this match. And for the most part, I do think it was a decent match. So I would compare it to Lyra and Bailey tonight to some extent, except, this one I'm paying more attention to, because there's just more to it that I already enjoyed. So, for that reason, like I said, I do think this match was decent. In the end, though, we did see Rusev tap out JD McDonough, and obviously we got to this match because Dominic did ask JD to help him out with Rusev, since Rusev is going after Dominic Mysterio. So obviously we're going to continue with Rusev pretty much feuding with the Judgment Day and Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental title for the next probably month, or at least for a few weeks, which I'm all for. Honestly, I feel like Rusev will probably eventually get that title, which is going to be awesome if you ask me. But as far as this overall match, I do think it was decent, and like I said, Rusev did pick up the win here. Alright, and now we jumped into Jey Uso versus LA Knight, man, and I think this match was great. It is a long anticipated match. We finally got it tonight. It does feel awkward that we did get it on a Raw, but still, man, we got the match, and it's freaking awesome. This match was great. The only thing that I would subtract is the fact that Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker did get involved here, but at the end of the day, it did make sense a little bit. So yeah, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker did come out. They didn't play a major role, because they were easily knocked out of the way, and they didn't really play a crucial role in this match. But for the most part, man, this match was very solid, and honestly, I think it was a much needed win for Jey Uso here, if you ask me, because Jey Uso did win here. He did defeat LA Knight, and it was surprising, because honestly, I thought this match might have ended in a DQ, but still, we got Jey Uso winning, and honestly, I think it was a great and much needed win for Jey Uso here. And at the end of the match, we did see Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker back up, and they did try to get back up, and they tried to go after LA Knight. Jimmy Uso came out next to Jey Uso on the top of the entrance stage, and Jimmy was kind of saying, we need to go help him before they attack him, obviously him being LA Knight. And Jey Uso, he just walked off. He didn't want anything to do with that. He didn't care. LA Knight is kind of his biggest op currently. But Jimmy Uso did go down there. He helped out LA Knight. The Vision didn't inevitably end up attacking, because Jimmy Uso ran down there with the steel chair. But overall, this match was great in my opinion. I think this match is very solid. Like I said, much needed win for Jey, if you ask me. And I mean, the fact that we're continuing to see that even after he beat LA Knight, Jey Uso is still kind of showing those heelish sides of him. I think it's very freaking awesome, man. I've really been loving the character work from Jey Uso, and just that whole storyline that's been going on over the past few weeks, man. I think it is awesome, and honestly, I cannot wait to see where it inevitably ends up, man. But overall, as far as this match goes, I think it was awesome. Alright, and now we have now reached our main event of the night, which took place between Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. And man, these women had great chemistry together. This match was absolutely freaking amazing. Obviously, Asuka has really hated Rhea Ripley these past few weeks, and even I think it's probably a month in or even more now, honestly. Obviously, because, you know, she's been hanging with Io, and, you know, Asuka does not advocate for that whatsoever, and she absolutely despises Rhea. So, I mean, Asuka went in very aggressive in this match, and so did Rhea, man, because Rhea is also fed up with Asuka's nonsense. And, I mean, like I said, man, just overall, these women had great chemistry. There was not one point in this match where I was really freaking bored at all, and I think this was a great main event. Inevitably, though, we did see Rhea Ripley win, and we did also see a post-match attack on Rhea Ripley by Asuka and Kairi Sane. Asuka hit her with the mist, and then Asuka ordered Kairi to beat up Rhea, which she did. You know, she didn't want to at first, but then Kairi did start to beat up on Rhea. Then Io Sky came out to try to save, to stop Asuka and Kairi from beating up Rhea Ripley. And then we finally have made it to this moment where Asuka turned her back on Io Sky like we knew it would happen, and it finally happened tonight. And now the Kabuki Warriors are on their own. They are on their own. They are no longer teamed up with Io Sky. They are all against Io Sky and Rhea Ripley and all of them. So man, I think this was a great main event. We finally got that major heel turn, but with the Kabuki Warriors and Asuka. So I mean, awesome. That finally paid off. And like I said, man, these women in this match had great chemistry. So overall, very solid freaking main event tonight. Alright, everybody, well, that is it for today's Raw recap. As always, be sure to leave me your thoughts down in the comments below about this episode of Raw. I think this was a very solid episode of Raw. We had a lot of great story developments and a lot of great story shifts, specifically with that main event and that Jey Uso and LA Knight, and especially the crown jewel with Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, man. So things are really heating up on Raw and just in WWE in general. I cannot wait for the future of WWE. I think this episode of Raw was very freaking good and very freaking solid. But as always, like I said, leave me your thoughts down in the comments below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload, and go follow the socials. Links to those are in the description of this video. As always, doing all that helps me out a ton, and I will catch y'all boys in the next one. Peace. I dream broken dreams.